Hi boys and girls, my name is Miss Melissa. I am here today to do an art project with you. We are going to draw a narrative. A narrative tells a story. You're going to make something very similar to this today, and this is a narrative. A narrative has the characters, the setting, and the events that are taking place. You will never guess what we will be drawing a picture of today. A word problem. Yes, that's right. And if you joined me before, you may have gotten the chance to see my other video called Drawing with Word Problems. That video we made a garden. Well, today our drawing will be about cookies. So let's go ahead and get our supplies ready. You are going to need one white sheet of paper, maybe a couple of pencils, one eraser, and a box of crayons. And while you're getting your supplies ready, I am going to show you a narrative of a very famous artist. This is a book about Faith Ringgold and her life as she contributed it to the art world. This is Faith Ringgold. She was probably in her midlife, maybe around her 40s in this picture. Did you know that she is from the United States of America? She was actually born in New York City, and she is now 90 years old today. Her artwork can now be seen around the United States of America and the world. She has exhibits all over. Now I'm going to show you one of her very famous narratives. What do you see in this picture? Take a good look at it. Do you see people that are dressed up who are outside? Some of them are sitting on blankets, and some of them are, it looks like they could be dancing and playing. Did you notice the food on the blankets? What do you think is happening in this picture? Do you think they're having a picnic? I think so. This picture is actually called Church Picnic. Since we know the title is called Church Picnic, do you think maybe people that went to church decided to have a picnic afterwards? I think so. This is a narrative. It tells a story. And you have to have three parts to have a narrative, right? You have the characters. Do you see all the characters? Lots of characters, right? You have to have the setting. So what's the setting? It's outside on, picnic blankets, right? So what's the event? What is happening? They are having a picnic. Very good. Now I want to show you the lines and shapes that we are going to use for our narrative. Here is a picture of a straight line. We are going to be using straight lines today to draw our narrative. We are also going to be drawing with curvy lines. And you could say these with me. Curvy lines. We are going to be using circles, ovals, rectangles, and even squares. We're going to use all these shapes and lines to draw our picture. Let's get started. Mrs. Tosh baked 160 cookies for the bake sale. She sold 78 of them. How many cookies does she have left? So the first thing I like to do is just underline the important information. And look at what I have here. I decided to go ahead and put 2 place value charts, and you'll see why. So let's underline, what does she have? 160 cookies. That's how much she baked, right? That's total. And then they're telling us that she sold how many? 78 were sold, and we want to know how many does she have left. So let's see if we can put some of these numbers in the place value chart to kind of help us. Does she have 100 or over 100? Yes, she does, because look, 1 is in the hundredths place. What is in the tenths place? Because this is hundreds, tens, and ones. What's in the tenths place? 6. And what's in the ones place? 0. Okay, let's do the same thing for 78. Do we have anything in the hundreds? No. Do we have something in the tens place? Yep, we have a 7, so we're going to put that here. So that's like saying 70, right? Just like this is like saying 60. Ones place, we have a 8. So we could actually say this is 70 plus 8 to give us 78. This will help us learn how we could draw it. I want you to think, how can we actually draw 160 cookies? That's a lot of cookies, right? Maybe we can use our place value chart to help us. And, you know, we know Mrs. Tosh was baking, so she's going to put her cookies where? Right, on a pan. Can we fit 100 cookies on a pan? No way, that's too much, right? We couldn't fit 100. Could we fit 1 cookie on a pan? Oh, well, yeah, but that would be silly. We would waste so many pans. What about 10? Could we put 10 cookies on a pan? I think so. Let's see what that would look like. So let's go ahead and draw. Actually, I want you to just watch what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And cookies are round. They're like a circle shape. So let's pretend this is a pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can we fit 10 cookies on a pan? Yes. So I think we could use each pan will equal 10. So instead of drawing every single cookie that goes on a pan, if we just draw a pan, that would represent how many cookies? 10 cookies. That's going to be our shortcut to helping us draw this word problem. Now, keep in mind, I said we're going to draw a narrative, right? Who is the character? Because a narrative has a character, a setting, and the events. Who's the character? Mrs. Tosh, right? And what would the setting be? Where would this be taking place? Is she going to bake her cookies in the living room? No, she's going to be where? In the kitchen. So we're going to need to draw what? A kitchen with Mrs. Tosh in it, probably by an oven, right? Because she's baking. And then our picture should show, you know, her making cookies, right? And we could use this, we can make a key to help us. So let's start drawing. First thing I want you to do is draw a straight line on the bottom of your paper. This is going to be our key. We already said 1 tray equals how many cookies? 10 cookies. This way we can count by tens. So go ahead and draw a rectangle and put equals 10 cookies. Now we're going to use circles and ovals to draw Mrs. Tosh. But she's in her kitchen, right? So let's put a floor. Let's make a floor. You can have a tile floor, a checkered floor, maybe a wooden floor. So I'm going to have, I don't know, maybe a tile floor or a black and white checkered floor. So you can go ahead and draw a straight line. This is going to be the floor. And I'm going to draw 2 shoes because that's where she's going to be standing, right here. I'm thinking we can put her baking with the cookies. All right, so the first thing you want to do is draw a circle for the face, a straight line for the neck, and some type of oval for her chest, and a straight line to connect to the hips, which I like to make hips into a circle. And then some straight lines for her legs. And then her arms. She's going to be working at the kitchen, so one arm is going to come here, and there's her hands, and then one arm is going to come here. Maybe she's going to have mittens on or something to take the cookies out the oven. Now I'm going to put her some bangs and maybe some straight hair. The last time I drew Mrs. Tosh, she had curly hair, so I'm doing something different. You can put whatever kind of hair you want. She has 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And I'm going to put her wearing an apron with some rectangular straps. That will fit right around her body, just like that. I just drew some curvy lines. So I'm going to go over the parts. Ready? A circle for the head, an oval for the chest, an oval for the hips, straight lines for her neck, her legs, and her arms. And I used ovals for the feet and her hands. Don't forget to put eyes, nose, and a mouth, and you can design whatever kind of hair you would like. You can create your own Mrs. Tosh. Okay, so now I'm thinking we need to draw what? Probably an oven. And most ovens look like squares or rectangles, right? So copy off of me. Let's draw a big square right next to her. Squares and rectangles are made with straight lines, right? I'm going to draw a rectangle or 2 straight lines going across. This is how she can open the oven. That's the handle. And let's draw a square so we could see inside of the oven. Now we're going to draw 2 straight lines, so watch. They're going to be diagonal going at a slant, just a slight slant. And then we're going to make a straight line going across. That's going to be the top of the stove. And my stove has 4 circles, or they call them burners, okay? So you can, draw ovals. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to draw 2 more diagonal lines going this way. So you might want to watch. And we're going to come straight across. And now I'm going to draw a rectangle on top. Now, this is just one example of how to draw a stove. You may have your own way, which is fine. My stove has 4 knobs, 2 on each side. So I'm drawing some circles, and then it has like a clock in the middle. Lots of shapes, right? So I'll go over this while you finish your drawing. We started off by drawing one large square, a rectangle for the handle, and a square for the part that we can see through, right, on the oven. Then we drew 2 diagonal lines with a straight line on top going side to side, 4 circles, and then we just made some 2 little rectangles on top to show where the knobs would go. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 knobs. Lots of circles, squares, and rectangles. Everything we're doing, we're drawing with shapes and lines. Now we need a place to put the cookies, right? So I think I'm going to make a table. Maybe about, halfway, because remember, we have a lot of cookies to stack up on trays, huh? Lots of trays. And we'll find out how many in a second. So let's make a table. I drew 2 straight lines for the legs and a rectangle for the cookies to lay on top. So I want you to think, if one tray has 10 cookies, maybe we can count by tens to see how many trays we're going to need to have 160 cookies. Let's do that together. Ready? And each finger is going to represent one tray. 10 cookies in a tray. Ready? 10, count with me, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. How many trays do we need to have 100 cookies? 10. Is that enough? No, because how many cookies did she have? She had 160. So let's keep going. So we're at 10. Ready? 110, count with me. 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. So how many fingers am I holding up? 6. I am holding up 6 fingers. We had 10 trays. We counted 6 more. So how many trays do we need? 16. We're going to have to draw 16 trays. So I'll tell you what, let's do a shortcut. Let's draw one big, tall rectangle, and we're going to divide up our rectangle to make 16 trays. Okay, so draw one big rectangle on top of that table. And now we can count. Let's count 16 trays by drawing little lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm spacing them out. I want to fit 16 lines. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to draw them going across. So, and you know what? I tell you what, let's stop. Let's go ahead and color our table. Pick a color that you want to color your table with, because it can kind of get confusing. I'm going to choose purple for my table. Go ahead and color your table first, because all of the trays are sitting on top of that. I have a purple table. Okay, so go ahead and finish, and then now we can make sure you have 16 lines going across. Straight lines. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's see. So what you want to do is count each rectangle as 1. So this would be, look at my picture and count with me. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you need 16 trays. And as soon as you're done with that, we'll go on to the last part. Now let's look at the word problem again. It said she sold 78, and we need to learn how many she has left. So let's count how many she sold. Ready? Let's count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So right here, this is 70, right? That she sold, but she needs 8 more. Well, how are we going to show 8? Because we're only counting by tens. The only way is if we put single cookies, right? So for one row, we're going to draw single cookies. So make your key at the bottom. We're going to put it in our key. We're going to draw one circle to represent one cookie. So go ahead and write that at the bottom on your key. A circle equals one cookie. All right, so I marked my paper to where this was 70. Now we're going to fit 10 circles because we have to put 10 in each tray. Watch. You can do it with me too. Let's draw 10 circles in the next tray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I barely squeezed them in. And she sold 78. So I think maybe if we color the cookies that she sold, it would be easy for us to remember. What do you think? I think so. So why don't we do this? You can scribble, and I'm going to put brown because I want my cookies to be chocolate cookies. You can scribble some brown and or blue or whatever color you want the sold cookies to be. And we're going to say sold. That means they're gone, or she's going to get rid of them. She baked them, someone paid her for them, and now she's going to have to get rid of them, right? So they are sold. So pick a color, scribble some on your key. This is the last thing we're going to put on our key. Put equals sold. Now I'm going to color. Remember, she sold 78. So let's color 78. Remember, all of these were 70. 10 cookies on each tray. We had 7 trays. So that's what I'm coloring. I'm coloring 7 trays. If you chose yellow, you're going to choose yellow and color 7 trays. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yep. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, how many cookies do we need to color? She sold 78, so we're going to count 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you should have how many circles colored? 8 circles. Very good. And that will leave us how many circles not colored? 2, because 8 plus 2 is 10. We only have 10 cookies on a tray. So by doing this, now we can figure out how many she has left to sell. Let's count. Ready? Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 1, and 2. Let me write that down. She has 82 cookies left. Let's check it. Let's add 78 plus 82. We should end up with, look at that, 160. So she has 82 cookies left. Now you get to color your narrative however you want. Let me show you what I did on another picture. Do you see that? I used a lot of black and white. I had an orange table. These were my cookie trays. And I colored Mrs. Tosh. Her dress was pink and her shoes matched. I think you did a great job, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me today. We learned about so many things. We learned about narratives. Do you remember the 3 parts of a narrative? The characters, the setting, and the events. That's right. And we also learned about a famous artist named Faith Ringgold, who creates narratives with paint and quilt designs. The best part was that we got a chance to do this very same thing, but with word problems, and one that had a lot of cookies. Just remember, when working with numbers that go past 100, you can always use your place value chart to help you. So as you go through the rest of your week, I am hoping that you will try to create a narrative the next time you have a problem for homework. I'm sure you will do a great job. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon.